Welcome to the show, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the I Am Real Estate Show. You're here with Ray Smith, Sandra Johnson, and Danielle Johnson. We're the host of the show, and today we're going to be talking with the owner and CEO of Inspired Life Mortgage, John Spurr. How you doing today, John?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I was thinking about going around, give you about 40 different questions. I'm just going to get right into it right now, just start talking about the fact is, what is the cost of waiting to get a home right now?
So there's, in my mind and opinion, there is a hidden cost to waiting that I think people who rent don't understand the money that they're not earning in the form of appreciation of the property, paying down the balance of the house so you have equity in the property. Because when you make a rental payment, if you're paying $2,000 a month, you're not getting anything for that $2,000. I mean, you're getting a house to live in,
right,
but you're not gaining any equity. You're not gaining any appreciation. And so myself and another friend of mine started playing with these numbers about a month ago and just looking at different scenarios. And we just were using a $300,000 home. If you were renting it, average rent's about $1,700 a month. If you do 3.5% down on FHA, I just quoted somebody today, I think $2,055, I think is what it was for the monthly payment. So the payment's a little higher than if you're renting, but that house is going to appreciate somewhere between 3 to 5% in the first year, and you're going to pay about $5,000 of that loan balance down.
Right.
So you're going to leave about $21,000 on the table if you wait another year to purchase a house. And it gets worse as you go on. At 5 years, it was about 126, and at 10 years, it was almost $200,000 worth of paying down the balance of the house and appreciation, assuming that we stay in this 3 to 5% appreciation range over a 10-year period, that you're leaving on the table if you just sit back and continue to rent. And that's before we start counting the rent payment that you're just throwing away. So there's this hidden cost I don't think people who are renting understand, that they're not increasing their net worth by owning a home. That homeowners who've owned a home and watched the balance go down and seen their home value go up, no.
Even in this market that we are, I feel like we're kind of coming out of, but when interest rates started getting a little bit higher, and we certainly felt that in the resale market, people that needed money that had been in their home for a year or 2 years had a nice little nest egg that's kind of a safety net. And I think it just gives people options.
Yeah, I mean, I tell my first-time home buyers, you have to think about your house as a bank account that doesn't have an ATM card. It's a savings account. As you make payments, you're paying down the balance. That's equity that you're earning in the property. The home value is going to go up. But people that did purchase a home 2-3 years ago, I have done home equity line of credits for, and they have a $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 credit line, and they've been able to use it to either pay off a high interest rate card, put new air conditioning on the house, or any other things that they wanted to use it for. And had they not bought a house 2 or 3 years ago, they wouldn't have that money available to them.
When I think about buying a home versus renting, I always think about it as the money that you're putting out is either going toward your future or going toward someone else's. It goes in your pocket through equity or through other things, or someone else's. But thinking about it in this way, kind of even for me, is kind of spinning it a little bit that, it's not just that you're building equity for your future, but that you actually can leverage that in your future when you do need help. Whereas if you're renting, you don't have any options. You have nowhere to go. You're going to have to go out and take out a loan at very high interest rates just to cover whatever expense comes up. And so that really is just providing a safety net. That's a whole different perspective for me.
Yeah, and Ray and Sandra have heard me say it a bunch of times on the show. Invest in yourself. When you're renting, you're investing in somebody else's future. When you take that step to buy a home, you're investing in yourself and investing in your future. The other part of it is if you can afford to rent a house, if you're truly going through a rental management company that requires you to have 3 times the rent and monthly income, which is what they do, and you can afford to pay $1,700-$1,800 a month, now we got to find the 3.5% down payment. Because if you can afford that payment and you have enough income to 3 times the rent, you are going to qualify for a house. It just comes down to the down payment.
Any ideas can you provide them for how to get enough down payment, how to start getting a down payment?
One of my favorites is an article I read, I think it was last week, where they were talking about first-time home buyers say the hardest thing to come up with is a down payment.
Mm-hmm.
That is probably the number one barrier when I talk to first-time home buyers is coming up with a down payment. 59% of first-time home buyers in the last 12 months sacrificed. And so I started reading the article, and the sacrifices were they stopped going to Starbucks. They stopped buying lunch and going out for lunch with their friends. They stopped buying the new shoes on the shoe club of the month and the shirt club. And so really what they did is they got rid of their frivolous spending, their luxury type items, and within a few months they had the $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 they needed. Just keep in mind, if you're a first-time home buyer, you need 3% or 3.5%.
Mm-hmm.
$300,000 house, that's $9,000 or $10,500. They got rid of their frivolous spending. They got rid of their luxury spending. And within a few months, they had their money for the down payment.
I think it's just a mindset shift, because sometimes we feel like I deserve that. I think L'Oreal was the one that told us you deserve it. And a lot of the little luxuries in life. And when you start counting the cost of that, there is a lot of money that just kind of slips through the cracks because we're not intentional about the way that we are spending or intentional about the way that we're saving.
Well, the fun thing about Google and the internet is you can search any of this stuff, and you can search the average money spent weekly by an individual on eating out for lunch and eating out for dinner, and all those numbers are out there. We came up with $400 a month for an individual. If you stop me at the coffee every day and you eat lunch out instead of taking your brown bag lunch to the office, $400. If you're married, it's $800. That's just 2 items. That's stop eating lunch out and stop getting a coffee on the drive to work. We're not saying this is forever. Do this for 5-6 months, you have your down payment. Now once you have your down payment, you're in your house, you want to go get a coffee again? Get a coffee again. Because I don't want Starbucks to hunt me down and try to kill me right now because I'm telling people not to go get coffee. But the fact of the matter is, and I agree that, you deserve it, you work hard, you deserve these things, but which is cooler? I have a house that's paid for by the time I go to retire, or, hey man, I got a coffee every single day on the way to work for my entire life because I deserved it.
And then I worked out in a gym for
right?
an hour to work off those calories.
And you provide kind of assistance. You can help people. They call you to say, hey, what are your ideas? You can look at their payments and say, look at their finance and, hey, try this or try that.
We are very happy to work a budget.
Okay.
We're happy to go through a budget, look at your spending habits, look at what you're paying. I've had people refinance their car so that we can get their payment down so they can save that money so they can have a down payment on a house. We're happy to look at everything because this is a process. A lot of people don't end up walking in the door and in 30 days they close on a house. It is a process.
You ever have anybody sell their car?
Yes, I've had people sell their car.
That to me is somebody that deserves to be in a house. If you're willing to give something up in order to have that dream, I think they deserve to be in a house.
And the intentionality, the truly being intentional about your choices and not just letting your money float around in your pocket and disappear, but really being intentional about where you spend it.
That's great news. Good job on helping us out and understanding what's going on right now. We're heading to the break. Thank you for spending part of your afternoon with us. You're listening to the I Am Real Estate Show with Raymond, Sandra, and Danielle. This is on The Voice, 1030 a.m.